Okay, folks, so what we're going to be doing today is a little bit of an investigation, and we're going to be looking into what it means to be two parallel lines. So you may already know, but we've got a little bit of investigation we're going to do. On the left-hand side of your page right now, you're going to see our three different lines, the red line, the brown line, and the green line. So if you need to, what I would do is I would kind of label those on the left-hand side just so you're comfortable and you know which one you're looking at any given time. So we've got our red, our brown, and our green. And I've gone ahead and pulled our points over from those lines into our boxes here. So what we have to be able to do is we have to be able to create the equation of the line that goes between those 2 points. So if you remember our game plan that we talked about, you need to you need to find the slope between those 2 points. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to kind of model it for you this first time and then let you guys practice in the next couple. So we got to find our slope. That's our first step. So if we set up our slope formula, remember that's y2. So in this case, that's 4 minus y1. In this case, that's 2, all divided by x2, 0, minus x1, negative 3. So let's go ahead and simplify. If we simplify, we're left with 2 over, this becomes plus. When you have two negatives, it becomes a plus. So we have 2 over 3. There's our slope for that first equation. Now that we have the slope, we need to find the b value. And remember, to find the b value, we always take our blank equals blank times blank plus b. So blank equals blank times blank plus b. We just found our b value, or excuse me, our m. So we're going to go ahead and plug that in, 2/3. All right. And then we also have our point x and y. I'm going to go ahead and choose this point right here. My y coordinate is 4. My x coordinate is 0. Let's go ahead and simplify. If we simplify this out, 0 times 2/3, that's really easy. That just gives me 0. So it's 0 plus b equals 4, which really just means that b equals 4. So now that we've got our m and our b, that was the second piece of our equation, the second step of our process. We have to remember to write out our final answer as the equation itself, which in this case is going to be y equals our slope, which is 2/3, times x plus our b value, 4. So there's our equation for the red line. Y equals 2/3 x plus 4. All right. So take a second with your neighbor, press pause on the video, and try the same process. See if you can find the slope, the b value, and ultimately the equation for the brown line and the green line. And then you can come back and check your work with the video in just a second. So jump in and good luck. All right, so hopefully you're back and you're going to go ahead and find that slope. I'm going to do this a little bit faster, seeing as you've already practiced. In this case, it's going to be -5 minus -1 all over 5 minus -5. If that simplifies down to -5 plus 1 would give us -4 all over 10, which simplifies down to -2/5. There's our slope. Now we find the b value. The b value, remember, we go blank equals blank times blank plus b. We're going to go ahead and start plugging in our points. Our slope, first of all, is the -2/5. And let's plug in one of our points. It doesn't really matter which one. So let's go ahead and choose. I'll choose this one right here. So my y value is -1. My b value is my x value is -5. What happens, and this is really convenient for us, is that the negative right here, this 5 and this 5 cancel each other out. That becomes a -1. So our equation that we're left with is -1 equals -2 times -1 right here. So be very careful. -2 times -1, that gives us +2 plus the b value. And now we're going to subtract that 2 over. So if we subtract 2 over, we're left with b equals -3. Okay, so that's our b value, meaning the equation of the line would be y equals, my slope is negative 2/5 x minus 3. There's your equation. All right, and for the green line, find our slope. Our slope is going to end up being negative 2 minus 1 all over 2 minus 1, which simplifies a little bit easier to negative 3 over 1, which is just negative 3. Find that b value, so blank equals blank times blank plus b. Start plugging in our values. That's negative 3 right there. I'm going to choose the point 1, 1. Plug those in, 1, 1. That gives us 1 equals negative 3 plus b. Now we're going to add the 3 over, just like we practiced before. 3's cancel out, b equals 4. So hopefully you've had a chance to practice those. Bring that all back together. Our equation is y equals negative 3x plus 4. And the reason why we're doing that, now that we have our three equations, I'm just going to highlight those for us here at the bottom. Now that we have our three equations, equation here, equation here, equation there, is we want to compare those to the equations up above, line A, line B, and line C. So it's really helpful to see that the question we kind of start to ask ourselves is the following. So keep this on the front, keep all your work here on the front, and then we're going to flip over to the back and you're going to see the questions that are being asked of you. So the first question is, which colored line is parallel to line A? So if we come back to here, line A is y equals negative 2/5 x plus 1. So if you had to take a guess, which of these equations down here at the bottom is parallel to line A, hopefully you're going to be able to see that the line A has the same slope as the brown line. The brown line and line A have that same slope. Okay, these two are parallel to each other. So what are the equations of the two lines? In this case, it would be the brown line that's the same. Okay, the brown line is the same. And then you can write those two equations right here. Your actual brown equation and then the equation of line A could go right here. Okay, so think about that for number 2 as well. Which one do you think is parallel to line B? Which one do you think is parallel to line C? So I'm just going to let you think about that in a second, but I want to move forward with our observation here for the brown line and line A. So line A was y equals negative 2/5 x plus 1. I'm going to rewrite that here. Y equals negative 2/5 x plus 1. And the brown line equation that we found was y equals negative 2/5 x. I can't remember what the last piece was. Our b value was minus 3. So minus 3 right here. Okay? So hopefully with those two equations written out, I want you to ask yourself this question. What do you notice about the slopes of each equation? And I've already kind of alluded to this. What do you notice? When you compare the brown line with the line A, so our equation right here and our equation right here, what do we notice is the same? And the only thing that's the same about them is their slopes. Their slopes are the same. So that's a really big observation for today's lesson, is to recognize that the slopes of parallel lines are the same. Very important to walk away with that realization right there. Now let's compare something else. Let's compare their y-intercepts. So their y-intercepts are actually not the same. They're negative 3 and positive 1. So our observation there is that their y-intercepts, these are going to be different. And they actually are not allowed to be the same. They must be different. Okay? And our last statement there would be to summarize. We're going to summarize by saying slopes are the same and y-intercepts are different. Let's keep practicing.